All right, y'all, it's that time of year again. It is time for the top 10 whiskeys of 2024. I thought 2024 was a pretty decent year when it came to whiskey. A lot of nice rye releases, finished whiskeys, blends, and then higher age stated whiskeys as well. Two of the things that I really looked for in making this list was the value of the whiskey and really the experience that the whiskey gave me. Now, I've done a lot of head-to-heads with these. I've done some four-way blinds in these just to see which whiskeys gave me the best experience. So let's get this thing started with bottle number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Ross & Squibb / MGP Zone. This is their highest rye. This is age stated at 6 years, comes in at 109 proof. I thought this one packed so much flavor. And you talk about a whiskey that is, it screams value. I mean, that's one of the reasons why this really fell on the list. Not only is it a delicious pour, but such a great value in today's market. Lots of nice spiciness on this one, citrus. That's why this bad boy came in number 10 spot. Coming in the number 9 spot, this is the Green River Full Proof. This one is 117 proof, non-chill filtered. It's one of the best valued whiskeys on the market today, bar none. This one offered a lot of fruitiness, some of that spice, really nice oiliness on this one. This is one of those whiskeys you definitely want a backup or two of just because it is that good and it is that affordable. That's why this one comes in the number 9 spot. Coming in at number 8, this is the Raking Tor Rye batch number 2, finished in Mizunora casks. This is distilled in Indiana, 7 years old, comes in at 122 proof, and is the best rye whiskey that I have tasted this year by far. When I heard Josh from Stuff and Whiskey say that it was one of the best ryes he tasted, I figured I had to pull the trigger and buy one, and I am so glad I did. I am regretting not buying a backup of this. I have finished half the bottle so far, but that Mizunora adds such a different and unique flavor to this rye whiskey. It gives you that spiciness, there's some fruitiness to it that all just forms on the middle to back of the palate on this one. It comes off very sweet and gives you that little hint of that spicy character there towards the back and into the finish. That's why this bad boy comes in number 8 spot. Coming in that lucky number 7 spot, and probably one of the most debated whiskeys released this year, is the Smoke Eye Hill. This is distilled out at MGP, utilizing a 4-grain blend. I tried this in the Ascot Awards, and it actually got my top honors in the Ascot Awards. Again, you're drinking all of those individually, not head-to-head. Not only did it finish in the top of my list, but it did with many judges, which made it go to the finals, where it beat out the George T. Stagg. Again, a 4-grain blend, high proof, 131.2. I think this is an absolute flavor bomb from front to back. Comes off very sweet. I got some very crazy notes on this one, utilizing that 4-grain blend and some of that blue corn that's in there. I really, really like this bottle. I know there's some variations out there, different proofs. However, I still think this one definitely deserved a spot on the top 10 list. Coming in at that number 6 spot is the Forgay Kelvin Collab number 6. This one is finished in those Madeira and dark rum casks. Comes in at 115 proof. It's one of the best finished whiskeys I had this year. Man, you talk about a flavor monster. My God, I had some of this over Christmas break, and it drinks a little bit hotter than what is stated on there, but man, the flavors on this one are just so concentrated, and it's so viscous. Just sticks around the cheeks, the soft palate, the tongue. An amazing finished whiskey here. I really like to see what Forgay does and some of their blends. I'm not able to always find these bottles, but when I do, I am very happy with anything that is put out of this quality. Coming in at number 5, you know it is Kluke batch number 10. This one, again, a high and low rye blend of Indiana and Kentucky bourbons. This one comes in at 120 proof, which is a little bit higher than some of the previous releases, but I'll tell you what, the things that they are doing, the blending that John is doing over there is just second to none. These whiskeys are all absolutely fantastic. It was very difficult to pick which batch was going to make it, but all in all, this batch number 10 won me over completely. It is an amazing blend. I just got done reviewing his Keenan Cabernet, and it's just stellar. So John, keep doing what you're doing. Guys, this batch 10 is fantastic. If you can get your hands on it, highly recommend it. Coming in that number 4 spot was the Pride of Indiana batch number 1. This is a late buy for me, but I am more than happy with this bottle. I love that blend of that 17-year American whiskey and 10-year-old bourbon, again, distilled in Indiana. It gives you that yellow cake, that vanilla, and you're getting some of that chocolate like drizzle that kind of flows through on this one. Again, this is a late purchase for me, but the flavor on this one is absolutely crazy. Again, coming in at 125.5 proof, it definitely does pack a punch. But again, anything where I get that yellow cake note on, I am a sucker for. That's why this bad boy comes in the number 4 spot. Coming in at the number 3 spot is the Bardstown Bourbon Company's Discovery Series batch number 12. This may be one of the best Discovery Series releases I have ever had. It may rival one of the earlier ones, but this thing is a winner from start to finish. On the nose, it's fantastic. On the palate, it's fantastic. Not to mention the age statements on these go from a minimum of 6 years all the way up to 14-year-old whiskey inside of here. 115 proof. Again, this thing is an absolute flavor bomb. It holds up very, very well in cocktails. I'm always excited to see what Discovery Series bring. Not to mention, I'm always excited to see what Bardstown Bourbon Company brings to the table. That's why this bad boy comes in number 3 spot. In the number 2 spot, yes, another one from Bardstown Bourbon Company, their collaborative series. This is their Amaro. These are straight rye whiskeys finished in Amaro Indian malt whiskey barrels and then blended together with straight bourbon whiskey. Comes in at 110 proof and is probably one of the most unique whiskeys I have had to date. Unique in a good way. Again, landing at number 2. This thing is just an absolute flavor bomb, and this thing just continuously changes as it gets more and more air. When I had the sample that I reviewed from them, it continuously changed as it got lower and lower, and then into this bottle, it is doing the same thing from the neck pour down to where it is. This thing does make for it an extremely unique Manhattan. If you are a cocktail drinker, I would definitely recommend trying it in a Manhattan. I am very excited to see what Bardstown Bourbon Company brings out in 2025. That's what brings this guy number 2 spot. And that brings us to our number 1 whiskey of the year. I'm sure this is going to land on a lot of people's lists. This was the best whiskey that I tasted by far this year. Again, even in the head-to-heads, the 4-way blinds, this thing just, it simply beat out the competition. There is just such a concentration of flavors on this one. That oak presence that you're getting at that 15 years old, that cherry, that spice, again, coming in at a great proof point. There is nothing more that I want in a whiskey than this Russell's 15. I think Wild Turkey had one of the best years of releases, period. I mean, with the 15, the 13, you had the 70th anniversary, then some of the single barrel Rickhouse stuff. I think Wild Turkey, all in all, had one of the best years by far. This Russell's 15 is definitely a special bottle. This is something you definitely want a backup or 2 of before the prices continue to skyrocket. I think this thing is an absolute flavor bomb. Again, that deep, dark, rich oak, that chocolate, that cherry, and that spiciness that you're getting. And that is everything that I want in a whiskey. That's what brings this one that number 1 spot. So I want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Dusty Dan's Whiskey Reviews and my top 10 whiskeys of 2024. Let's hope that 2025 brings us whiskey that is just as good, if not better, for us to drink and share together. With that said, y'all, stay dusty.